Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Those that are new, welcome. So today I wanted to do a Santa sleigh. I did one last fall. It's a smaller version, but since I made the Santa, and if you haven't seen him, you can find the tutorial on my link or on my video list on my channel here. I wanted to do something a little bit more to his size, and I didn't want to do the bling one like I did last year. The one I did last year, oops, I'm dropping things over here, was this little one here, which turned out really well. So I did modify it and obviously made it bigger, the one we're going to do today. And I'm not going to do it bling. I will do it the red Christmas sleigh. So we're going to start off with Well Bond. You can buy it at a hardware store. Hobby Lobby carries it, Amazon, Michael's. I get mine at Rona/Lowe's here in Canada. I would suggest buying the bigger bottle. You get double the amount, over double the amount with a couple dollars more. I just pour it in my smaller bottle so it's easier to handle. I always suggest using the L-shaped carpenter ruler from Dollar Tree. It just helps you glue your blocks better and straight. We are going to use the tumbling tower, aka Jenga, from Dollar Tree. So we're going to start off with the bottom. If you ever have any questions, you're always more than welcome to message me on here, or you can message me and send pictures if you're stuck somewhere on my Crafty Shopper page on Facebook or on Instagram. When we're going to glue the blocks, so the ones like that we're going to do with the base are all glued sideways like such. When you're gluing them, I just keep moving it up and doing another row, moving it up, etc. I just find it works really well to keep them straight. So we're going to start off with the bottom, and the bottom is 72 blocks. We're going to have there's 6 rows of 12 across all the way down, which equals 72. The very back, I'm just going to put this here on the side. We're not going to get rid of it. I write little sticky notes, and I also keep, I'm just going to show you a book like this. And I write down all my projects with numbers on it because it gets very confusing. And I do suggest that maybe grabbing a piece of paper and a pen, pausing the video now, and just to write it down, just because it does get a little bit confusing when you're counting with so many blocks. So we're going to go with the very back of the sleigh. I'm going to move this here because I want you to see it here. So this is the very back, and we're going to do 4 rows of 12, 12, 12, 12, and that's 48 blocks. So I'm just going to show you here. We're going to glue it right on top, like this. I just want to keep this on the side because I'm not going to do the gluing with you guys on, or else this video will be super long. And I'm just going to put that down for a second. The next we're going to do is the back sides. And I'm just looking here, and I'm going to pull my little sticky notes as I go along. Sorry, guys. Now the back sides. As you see, these were going up and down. These are going to be sideways instead of up. And you need 2 of these, so you need 2 rows of 12. So it's 12 down and 12 down, 24 on one side, and exactly the same side on the other side, 2 rows of 12, and that equals, both sides are 48 blocks. You will put this one right on top, the very edge, and glue it. When you are gluing them, I would suggest putting, I'm just going to use this box here, like this, just to hold it up. Or you can use a glass or anything like that. Just make sure it's even on the bottom. And with the 2 back sides, we're going to put them on top, not on the side like this, on top. And you're going to put it exactly Sometimes you just gotta flip it. If it seems a little bit unbalanced like this one does for some reason, you can always use a filing pad. You can get some of these from Dollar Tree. They're just little sanding blocks. So this is not gonna stay up because this one is a little bit crooked. That's one thing about the blocks. They're a little bit uneven sometimes, but I will file it just a little bit before I glue them on. So you're gonna glue, of course I touched the other one, now it doesn't want to stay. So now I'm gonna use this. And you're gonna glue it to the bottom, the sides, and the back. The next we're gonna do is the middle sides. I don't know why I call them the middle sides. It's just so for me, I know what I'm doing. You're gonna need 2 middle sides, 1 row of 12, and they're gonna be stacked. So what I mean by stacked is they're just gonna be stacked on each other like that. So you're gonna need 13, and you're gonna need 13. And yes, it's wider than the inside of here, but that's okay. And you're just gonna put that on there like that. Get those glued on. We will do a seat, but we'll do it afterwards. Now we are going to do something in the little walkway where you walk in here, but we will do that afterwards. We just want to get the base part done. So now we're going to move to the front of the sleigh. And it's going to be up and down again, like the bottom and the top, how we glued it up and down. And you're gonna need, it's 2 rows of 12. So you got 12 and 12 like right over each other. So that's 24. And this will be sitting right on the edge here, like this. Then we're going to do another little part here, and these I'm going to call them the front sides, and they're 11, and they are going to be stacked like you did the 13th. So one right on top of the other, as you can see here, they're wider than these ones, and they're going to be glued right here. So I'm going to get these glued on before we move on to the next step. All right, I glued all those on and it's pretty solid. Now I do suggest, I took a paintbrush and I just opened, well, either one, the small one or the big one. I just opened the top of the lid, used a paintbrush, and I went over the corners, painting extras all the way into the cracks, all the way on the outside. Now, the thing is, if you're not going to do the steps coming, that when you do paint them, I don't know if you can see, and if you've worked with Wellbond, or I'm not sure if all the glues do this, but you can see if you do paint just over it like that, you will see the paint marks because they are kind of shiny, even though you put over paint. So once I get to that step, you'll know what I'm talking about, and I'll remind you that you will see the paint marks. But if you just want to paint it, because I am going to do the paper mache eventually, and I know I've been stuck on that, and I just like working with the blocks, because when you paint them, I hate when you can see the little lines and stuff like that, and I really like it. It's a little bit time consuming, guys, but it's so worth it, especially if this is going to be something like a good keepsake down the road, that the paper mache just gives it a totally different look and not so blocky with the blocks. If you're going to do the paper mache, don't worry about the glue marks, because that all gets covered with the paper towel. All paper mache, paper towel mache. It all gets covered, so you won't see it. But if you're just going to paint it, you're going to have to use a file or buffer and make sure you get all the glue lines, little spots out of there. Otherwise, it's going to paint funny. For the side, right here, as you can see, I've done 2 over here. Now, you're going to have to cut 4 blocks, and I thought I brought my saw up. There's DT has a little handy dandy, I always call it handy dandy, little saw, and you can, it's just a hand saw. I'm going to show you because I've been asked a few times before, and I've done it in my other videos. I have this little mini table saw that my daughter bought me, I think over a year ago. Works wonders. I'm not going to show you how to work it. I know all I've done is just cut a few blocks, and it's super easy. She bought it on Amazon.ca and the Canadian site, which we pay a little bit more than American. At the time, I believe she paid $50 for it for me, and I just like it. It works really well. There's adjusters too if you want to cut on angles. Super easy to work with. It's not the cheapest, guys, but if you like working with Jenga blocks, sometimes I haven't used it in a while because I haven't had to cut any blocks. Unfortunately, for this part, you're going to have to, but you can use the dollar store, Dollar Tree little handy dandy saw. And it cuts really good, and only for little things, especially if you work with popsicle sticks and dowels. I think it works like awesome. So I did cut 2 of the blocks, and I already glued them. Now, when I was, let me just pull out some blocks here. I'm going to do it this way. So when I put the block in, it's going to go up like that. Now, to do another block, the way I cut it, the way I measure it, I'm not going to tell you because it could be off a little bit and it might not fit. So if I tell you the measurements, it might just be a little bit off. All I did was put it, oops, just before matching up to glue it here, and all I did was put a little line, I'd say just before, because if it's a little bit too long, if it's a little bit short, it's okay, because you can fill it in with your little paint stick and glue. And it's probably not the best line, guys. My pen's running ink all over. Then you just cut it. You got to do 4. So, because there's 2, 2, 2, and 2. So you will need need 8 blocks for that. And then you'll just have little pieces left, which you can keep for another project. You never know, it could fit. And it's a little bit loose. As you can see, it just goes through. But once you glue it down and you have the glues on each end, and then you just do that. This is the second one the 4th one I've cut. It will turn out like that, and it's already filling. It's already drying, sorry. Once you get those glued on, I know this project's a lot of blocks. Me and my big bright ideas. Okay, I'm just gonna take these out. Once you got that done, we are gonna do a seat in here, but right now it's still drying before I show you. So while I wait for it to dry, you can use the buffers I mentioned before. If you don't have, I have a little Dremel hand drill, which works really well. It's just a small little, like a pen, kind of like when you get your nails done. I don't know if you know what I mean. You're going to round the corners, and you're going to just take the edges off a bit. Now, all 3 of these are from Dollar Tree, hardware section, crafting section, and beauty section. And it's the coarse one that works well. And you can, this is a little bit finer, so you can buff the ends. So the ends we are going to do, we're not going to do the back because we're actually going to add something on it that's going to be really cool that I discovered that I didn't do on the other one, and I thought it's really neat. So these ends here, you do not need to worry about. You need to round this corner, this corner, this corner, and the same on the opposite side. Once we get that done and my other blocks, we will move on to the seat. While I have this side gluing, we are going to now do the seat. So we're going to do the support, which is going to be under the seats, and we are going to need 12 blocks. You're going to need 2 and 2 glued upright like that. 2 and 2, and that's 8. And you're going to glue it right against the wall there. Then we're going to do 2 and 2. Sorry, it would have been 4 and 4. I don't know why I said 2 and 2. 2 rows of 2 and 1 row of 1s. And we are going to put it right there. So you're going to glue it on this side and a little bit on that side right there. This top part of the seat is going to be 2 rows of 10. And there is a gap. And another 2 rows of 10. And that's just going to sit flush. I don't know why this one might be better. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to swap them out. One's a little bit longer than the other. Why is it sitting like that now? Oops. I should have glued these in. So there is going to be a gape on each side. Gap, sorry, gape. I don't know why I said gape. And a little lip, and that's fine. So once we get those glued, now we are going to do the paper towel mache, which you can just round it off, which, you know, the paper mache is a good support for the whole thing. And it also, you can just do it in there that you will not see the gapes there. Gaps, sorry, I don't know why I'm saying gapes. We'll do a row of hot glue right here. And then when you put some paper towel mache over, it will just go nicely over. I'm going to finish gluing these off, and I am just going to let it dry for the rest of the night. And then tomorrow we will start on the paper mache. I will go over quickly about it in the morning, and then I'm going to let that dry again for almost a half to full day. Now that I let it dry overnight, it turned out really well. I did the hot glue just here, as you can see. I'm just going to show you with the paper towel mache. So when you're gluing it on, it's just going to have a nice, more of a round bend than being sunken into the little step on there. Now I do want to add something on either side, the front and back, more of a round. Obviously you can't do that with Jenga blocks unless you really file it. You're still not going to get the definition. You're going to need 2 of these, just 4 blocks lengthwise. And then I got these hair rollers for another project that I never end up using. They're from Dollarama, but I believe Dollar Tree has them. I think you could use the foam rollers as well. I thought I had a couple from a jewelry holder I made last year that I could try it out, and you can't. So you're just going to take some pliers. I'm not sure what the diameter of the ones from DT. I remember seeing them, but I end up buying these and I never use them. So I'm going to use them instead of buying the DT ones. And you can opt out if you don't want to do this part, if you just want to paint as is. This would be a really good sleigh for Barbies. At the end, I'll show you. I have a Barbies from the Barbie bed that I did, the Jenga block Barbie bed. I'll show you that later. You can put gnomes in there, presents. It's still a little bit smaller than the size of the Santa, and obviously you're not going to put Santa in there. But I just thought it would look really great as a great Christmas theme. So once you pull the wire out, it is really wobbly, but that's okay. And you're going to take an X-Acto knife. X-Acto knife is from DT. And you're just going to carefully go all the way down. I don't think that's cut open all the way, so you're going to have to do it again. Oh, it's open now. I think I cut a piece off by accident. That's okay. So make sure. Then you're going to take your 4 pieces, and you're going to make sure they're dry, obviously, first. And you're gonna put it right, I know, it was a lot easier yesterday when I did it because I already did one and I'm gonna show you in a second. And you're just gonna slide it in. And I cut this other one by accident, so there's little pieces there. Okay, let me see here. Got it on one side. Now these ones are a little bit longer. And it's gonna stick out, so that's okay. Then you're just gonna grab some scissors. I'm just gonna bend it. So it's gonna cover one side more than the other. And the other side is gonna be left a little bit more block than the other side. And that's fine. And then you're just gonna stick some hot glue to make sure that it stays on. And then you're gonna, oh, I'm just gonna show you here. I already have one done, so I don't wanna play with that one. There. This one's already done. The side that is showing more, which I believe is this side, you're gonna stick it on the end. And it's this side. I'm just going to show you here. You're going to find which side's better, and I think this side works better. And you're going to stick it on the end like this, and you're just going to glue it on. And it's going to give you that nice round effect on the front of the sleigh, and as well as on the back. Now, once you have that glued on, and you glue it on evenly, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna, I'm gonna do it on this one so it's easier, so it's not so high up. Once you got that glued on, you're just gonna paper towel mache, sorry, I always say paper mache. Just gonna glue it right over the edge of the sides and right underneath that. It's just gonna have a really great look, and the rounded edges that just will give it a whole different look. I'm gonna get these glued on, and then I did go a little bit extra, just a little bit on the sides with my filing thing, my Dremel. I just wanted a little bit more rounded edges rather than just the 3 corners I was talking about. And gonna add these on. Now with the paper towel mache, if you haven't watched my other videos, these ones I'm just gonna make bigger pieces, not so small. I might use small ones in the corner, but bigger pieces. It just gives more stability, just gives a better texture look to it. DT has this white glue. I'm out of it, but I wanna finish this morning before I go to work. So I'm just gonna use Mod Podge. I do have a bunch of bottles of these, or any white glue that dries clear. Now with Mod Podge, obviously the size difference, you'll pay more in paying a bunch of bottles of these than you would with one bottle from DT. And you're just gonna paint the Mod Podge on. You're gonna just put it on. Remember, this is there. And once you got that down a bit, you're just gonna put another lightly brush, more Mod Podge over it, leave it, and keep going all the way around. Don't do the bottom. I'm even gonna do the inside. I wasn't gonna do the insides, but I am just gonna do the inside since I'm already gonna be playing with a bunch of glue and getting my hands all sticky. I might as well do that while I'm at it. And I think it's gonna have a really great look to it. Once I get that done, we'll move on to the next step. While I let the sleigh dry, did the paper towel mache on it. It took a little while, but I think it's gonna turn out really good, especially with the foam. I don't want to touch it right now because it's still wet. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was about an hour and a half probably doing that, but you know what, put some music on, make a coffee, tea, glass of wine, time will go by fast. And I was like, whose big idea was it? It was mine. But anyways, it's gonna turn out really good, guys. Especially with the round foams on the ends. This is like, wow, what's at the end of the sleigh? It just looks really good. Okay, so we're gonna go down to the supports now, the underneath of the sleigh. Now, we're gonna start with the main base, which is 3 blocks, 3 blocks, and the block's gonna go not this way, this way. You want good support on it just for the different ideas. I had a few more ideas and I will explain that at the end of the video for it, so it can be swapped out for a bunch of different things. I guess all these ideas are coming to me now. So this main support will be, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're gonna need 8 with 3 blocks, and you're gonna glue them like this, and then you're gonna add the 7 more to be 8. You're gonna do in times 2. So I'm just gonna go through this one, and you're gonna need times 2 for both sides. Then we are going to do 3 supports, and I'm just gonna show you here. We're gonna do them this way. So you're gonna do sideways. I was just like to show you guys. Sideways like this when you glue them together, and 3 rows of that, times 3. And we're gonna, and how I'm gonna place it, because I did carefully and I don't want to bring it back up because I keep touching it. On here, on the main support for these 3, so there's gonna be 3 of these, and then there's gonna be the front of the base. So you have 3 of these for the support. So I'm gonna put them on the set of 2 here, right in the middle. Then we're gonna miss one on the next one. We're gonna do the other set. Gonna miss one, you're gonna do the one on the other set right here. So you have the 3. So you're gonna have a little bit of the end sticking out on the sleigh, and then you want the front part coming up. And I thought it would be a really good idea, but because of the sleigh being as big as it is, I did think of a skate guard would be really cool underneath it, just because they are kind of wider and they go around like that. But the skate guard's gonna be, I looked for one and I couldn't find one, but after looking at the size that I need, playing around with it, for the size that underneath, it would be unfortunately too, unless you're looking at like a men's size 12 shoe and a skate guard that long. I don't even know how long they are. I'm not sure. I couldn't find the skate guards. Apparently they're not on my kids' skates anymore, so I don't know where they've disappeared to. So we're gonna do, after we do the 3 supports, we're gonna do the exact same one again, right here. And you're gonna add it at the very front, so right on the end. So you're gonna have 4 of them. So you're gonna put the ones there, and then on top for the curve, we're gonna do the blocks like this. You're gonna add 3, and then you're gonna get like that, but you're gonna turn it this way with it upwards, and you're gonna put it right on there so it's glued like that. And you're gonna put that right at the front of the base. And I'm just gonna show you. So the bottom part of the base is already 102 blocks, guys. This is a big, I didn't think this build would be as much. I think this is probably one of the biggest builds I've did. So this is what it's gonna look like on the side. What you can do, we're just gonna paint it black, but what we're gonna do is basically taking our files, buffers, drill bit or Dremel drill. We're just gonna file the sides to make them more round on here, all the way around, all the corners. Do not touch the base because that's what keeps it, it won't fall over. Not that I think it'll fall over, but I wouldn't do that. You could do the tops in between and the edges. Here's gonna kind of be like, what's the term they use? I can't remember the term right now. And you're gonna do it really, really good around here so it looks more rounded, and around on the corner here as well so it looks rounded, and down there as well. You can do the little bit of the front, but do not touch the base all the way around because you want to keep it solid. So the times 2 is, like I said, 102. So the total count in my book, and I checked it like 5 times. You guys ready? I wish I had a drum roll or like a bump, bump, bump. It's 410 blocks. But I think it's going to turn out really cute, and just for the size of really, it's going to go great with Santa. Even if you didn't make the Santa, I think this one is just gonna, I'm gonna explain it when we get to the end, and I'm actually gonna show you the different ways we can do it. I'm not just gonna say, hey, you could do this. I'm actually gonna show you at the end of the video different things that you can put in it, and I think it's gonna turn out great. So I'm gonna get those glued on the other side of the support, and I'm gonna do the filing, and then I'm just gonna paint it just the plain DT black. And no, we're not doing paper towel mache on the bottom. We're just gonna paint it afterwards. Once we get that done, I'm gonna show you what the sleigh looks like before I do paint it, and show you the colors I'm gonna do. All right, I just wanted to show you before I paint it, and I think it turned out really well. The little supports underneath came out really good. I'm very happy with the size of it. It sticks out just a little bit at the back. We're not going to glue it on yet because we want to paint the bottom supports first, and we're going to paint the black. And on the inside, you can see right here that it is strong. It has dried really well. So I'm going to go ahead and paint it. I'm going to use Tuscany Red, which I just love. Dollar Tree's Tuscany Red, that's my favorite red. I'm going to paint that, and then we're going to come back. So I finished painting the supports on there, and I think it turned out really well. I did decide after looking at it, just because I did the Santa boots when I made Santa, that I did put a clear coat of the gloss Mod Podge, which I really liked. And after looking at his boots again, I thought that these should be gloss too. And this is the gloss, as you can see, and I think it turned out a lot better than I wanted. So I am gonna do the other one in gloss. I did a test one, and I didn't do the tops here because they're just gonna be glued. The sleigh is gonna be on there, glued on top. So you don't need to do the tops here, but you do need to do the front. So I am gonna finish this other one. I had to, when I came home from work today, I did do another red coat. Not fully, but just in a lot of spots, just with the paper towel. Sometimes the grooves don't get painted, and once it's fully dry, you'll see the little white spots. So I'm just letting that dry. I'm going to finish this one, let that dry, and then I'm gonna glue it on top, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so this is what it looks like. I think it's so cool. I am gonna turn the camera over in a minute and show you upwards. It turned out really well. I just bought, this is just fun fur. I just hot glued 2 pieces of fur, and I'm just going to stick it right in there with a little bit over top in the seat. Now you can use different colors. Maybe you want to use like some brown fun fur. But I just think the white makes it really pop really well. And it just hangs over. I just liked how the ends turned out really well. I wanted to put something on the side. I don't want to make it too busy because I want to make it interchangeable. So these little Christmas, Merry Christmas ornaments from DT. I just painted one just with DT black paint. I'm just gonna stick it on the side just for a little bit of a decor. I don't want to get too busy. Let me turn it over and I will show you it upright. On the front, you can put a little wreath. What I'm going to do, I got these, they're like little candle holders. I got them at the thrift store because I've been in the hunt for some green fun fur for the Grinch that I've had so many requests for it. I didn't find any green fur, but my daughter did find some online. So she did order the green fur. So the Grinch will be coming up soon, Jenga Block Grinch, once I get that fur in. But I just really thought it would just look really cute. One of these little things. It was super cheap. It was like 80 cents, I think. And just on the front, I'm just gonna hot glue that on. Okay, let me turn over the camera. All right, so if you made it this far in the video, I didn't put it in the title, but I know everybody's gonna ask me how I made the smaller reindeer, so I thought I'd leave this at the end of the video for all of you that has watched it to the end. Now, normally I wouldn't do that, but I just thought, I know I made 2 reindeers already. I made one with, if you're new to my channel, I did make the original Jenga block deer, which was last fall, which was a big hit. Unfortunately, I made it with the bigger blocks and 2 other sizes. Then I did, a couple months later, I did do another one, and it's a bling one out of just Dollar Tree blocks. But I wanted to incorporate this because the scene that I'm trying to get is with Santa in the sleigh. The 2 reindeers that I have are too big, and it just looks awkward as I try to incorporate them for when I finish to finally show you the end results. And I just thought it would be really nice to put them all together, and it'd be great. So I'm going to make a mini reindeer. So didn't put it in my title, but we're going to do this one quickly. You can always refer to my other videos, but this one is smaller. So please grab a pen and paper, like I always say for most of my crafts, because even myself with numbers and working with blocks, I'm always talking numbers. So it's always about blocks. So the main body, we're going to start with the main body. We're going to do 5 layers, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to be 12s. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. So that's 12. You're going to need 5 layers. Glue them together. We're going to do the legs. And the legs are 6 blocks on each leg. And they're going to be like this. Doesn't matter which way you really glue them on. It will still, just for example, I know this is facing up, but it'll be like that or like that. It's pretty much the same dimension because it's almost like a perfect square. So we're going to have 4 of these, though that is 24 blocks. The main body is 60 blocks. The total for the reindeer is 128 blocks. I'm just going to place these on top like this. I might as well just turn it sideways while we're at it. Obviously, I'm just going to show you quickly here. I think it's going to just be perfect. So for the neck, we're going to do 2 rows of 6, and they're going to be on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2. That's 12. It's going to be glued here. We're going to do another layer, and these are going to be 5 and 5 on side. And this one is 10, and that one's just going to be glued right in front. Now the head, I'm going to move this out of the way, sorry guys. And the head's going to sit on there. I have a head already glued together. I don't think that's when I was playing around once upon a time. So we are going to do, you're going to do 3 blocks. So I'm just going to do this freehand. They're not glued. I do have a fully glued one. I'm not going to waste my blocks. We're going to do 3 like this. We're going to add another layer of 3. Then we're going to add 2 like this. You're going to add another 2. Like that. Then we're going to add 3 more here, upright, right on top. I'm going to add another 3. Now they're all going this way, right? We're going to add 4 now. And the 4 is going to be facing up and down. Like that. And then we're just going to add 2 more for the head. So once you get that, and so for the head, oops, is 22 blocks, which will look like this. Like that. So I'm going to get these glued on. We will move to the antlers and the tail once all this is glued on. Once these ones are glued on, I actually am just going to do the filing just a little bit around the edges, Do not do the edges on the bottom of the feet. Make sure you guys let it dry fully. Read the bottle of the glue that you're using because it's very important. It might feel like it's dry, but once you start playing around, it might come off. And if it does come off, you do have to take a file and take the glue off. You can't glue over glue because it will not work. Once it falls off, please let it dry, because that's the number one thing, not just with the Well Bond, but if you read the bottle, Well Bond does dry pretty quick within an hour, but it says leave 24 hours to fully dry and seal. So I always suggest that. I know it's waiting, but in between like work and stuff like that, I find it works really well that you can do a little bit of craft and then move on. So I got them all glued together and I left him overnight. I did paint him. Now I add a little piece of wood for the tail, which is like this, and it just glues. I just used hot glue and glued it upright like that. So now that I have that on, I am gonna add a piece of fun fur. I'm gonna have the fur sticking up, and I'm just gonna wrap it like this, and I'm just gonna hot glue that on. For the antlers here, I had these square dowels. They came in a pack. They're actually from Dollarama. You can use the round ones as well. Then I just used some small wood dowels, and I just cut them down and size and hot glued them right on here, which went like this. And I did stain them when I stained this. And I'm just going to add some Christmas balls. They are a little bit too big. I wanted a little bit smaller ones, but that's okay. You can use little cherries, you know, the little Christmas red cherries on there. I think cranberries. You could put them on there. There's different little things that you can put on there. I'm just going to glue them on there so then it looks like this. Sorry, I'm going fast. I always have the other two videos about the reindeer. I just know I made the smaller version. For the ears, I believe on the other one, because the other one's in the basement. I know the bigger one I made, I did cut Jenga blocks for the ears. I am not going to cut Jenga blocks for the ears. I'm going to use what I did on the cat, on a couple of my other Jenga block animals. Just cut like a round shape, almost like a leaf. Stick a bit of hot glue right there. Close it up like that. Then I'm going to paint it because I don't have brown, kind of that kind. I'm going to paint it, and then they just come out looking like this. And I'm just going to show you since it's like this. Oops, there's a little tail. I think it's even, guys. I can't see because the camera, I don't want to block the camera. Up like that. And you're just going to glue, hot glue right on the back with the ears sticking out. Now that's all we're going to do for him. And I'm going to turn the camera upright so then we can see the sleigh, Santa, and the reindeer together. All right, so here's the final product. It looks so awesome. So over the Merry Christmas, I just added some greenery, a little bow with pine cone. I did forget to mention when I was just going through quickly about the smaller deer that I made. Now I do have two other reindeers on my channel, but I wanted to make one that was more proportioned to the size of the sleigh. The little bags that you see in here are from Dollarama. They're just filled with stuffing, but you can swap them out with gifts. You can put candy, chocolate, presents, gnomes. You can do Barbies, and you can even do a centerpiece with a bunch of floral. I think it would look totally cool with that. I just don't have all my stuff out, like I said earlier, to show you guys all that, but you guys all have creative minds. So make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you press that thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing a good job and bringing you a good comment. And press the notification button so it does let you know that I've uploaded a new video. Happy crafting. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.